We're going to get started. See, if you're late, you get the front row seat. It's like I'm Melody Locke. I'm one of the artists here at Silver Street Studios at Sawyer Yards, and I'm thrilled that for the second time I'm hosting Kathi Crawford's book launch. Just a little bit about this space here. There's about somewhere between 40 and 60 artists in this building. I'm never really sure the exact number. And we're open on second and third Saturdays and periodically during the week. And it's open to the public. The doors are open 9 to 5 every day. Currently, there's an exhibition in the building for about 33 of the artists. I like to call this our snack tray exhibition because each of those 33 artists is getting 13 linear feet of wall space. So it gives you a chance to walk through the building and see what's available. We were going to have this event down by my studio, and there's a lot of construction and events and stuff going on down the hall. So the two artists, female artists, who had this little event in here graciously said that we could use the space. And so the artists are Hatsiri Baron, and hers are the 2D paintings, and Angela Corson, who's got the interesting 3D pieces. And both of them have work in the hallway as well. So, but enough about me in the building. You really came here to hear from Kathi. And so this time, Kathi, I'll let you get started, but after she has her opening remarks, we'll have the readings from her book, and then open mic for those of you who want to have the mic. And then we'll have some drawings. So it sounds like it's going to be fun. So, Kathi.
Thank you all so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. It's great to see some faces from last year as well as new faces too. And who knew I would have a second book? I mean, really, I'm amazed myself. So it opened up for pre-order recently, and as you all know, that runs through September 4th, I think. And that really helps the author sort of set their commission rate for people to get excited and order their book ahead of time. So that's always appreciated. I know a lot of people in here have already ordered it, so thank you very much. And I have my book from last year, Consider the Light, available. If anybody wants a copy and doesn't have one, I'm having a sale today for $16 for that. And Tim, my husband, who's right over here, is responsible for all the money. I have tried, and I'm getting better at all of the apps and sort of like how to take money, and I don't do it right all the time, but hey, it's a learning process. And we also have, as you know, I'm part of a group called the Women in the Visual and Literary Arts, which is how I know Melody. We have a collaboration that's coming up where an artist and a writer come together and create something written and from the artwork or vice versa, but they collaborate on that and create something really fabulous, which ends up in a book that we publish on Amazon. And I have some copies from 4 years ago in the back available, as well as an anthology, which we started last year. Denise, if you want to stand up a sec. Denise is our editor extraordinaire. We have submittals open through the end of the month, and our theme this year is power/empower, however you want to interpret that. And there's poetry opportunities as well as fiction and nonfiction, short, and then short story. So hey, writing. Cover art, yes, indeed. Good, artwork as well. So that's a great opportunity. So today, I just wanted to share a little bit about this book. The title is Running with the Beasts, and this is the cover art. I did collaborate with Brooke Summers Perry again, so it's the same artist from my first book. And I met Brooke through WIVLA, and we did a collaboration 2 years ago, and that was the cover from last year, what I launched last year. the cover art for my book, but also it ended up on the cover of our anthology booklet, so that was really exciting. And this one, she took a little bit of a different approach in terms of, I guess, the artistic process that she did. She started with acrylics and painted on the canvas, and it was from reading the manuscript and taking a lot of the themes and elements that she was picking up from that. So you notice like a clock, I have some things about aging and, you know, going through and my experience in that and reflections, as well as a bike, because there's some stories about my biking life as well. And then I think the color theme sort of started to come with her. And then running is the person sort of running in here that's in there as well. And so she like created it out of the paint, and then you can take your canvas essentially and copy it into a canvas that can be printed and sent back to you. So she had it sent back, and then she used paint again, and then she created more layers in here, then sent it back, kind of back and forth, and then layered it and layered it. So if you really look at it for a while, you'll start to see some of the themes coming out that you don't see at first. So really appreciate that. She couldn't be here today because she and her family have been on a week-long vacation, and they're driving back today. But she really wanted to be here. Anyway, let's have a hand for Brooke. And also collaboration, because it really does matter. It's great to be in a group of people who are creative people and love art and writing. It's very inspiring. All right, so I am going with the same press. So I did send this manuscript out. So as you guys who are writers know, like you write maybe a book or you write some poems or stories, and then you maybe get those published in a literary magazine and or you put it into a book, and all of that starts happening, but you're already working on the next thing. You're not really thinking about that piece of work. If you've completed it, it's sort of, it's there and it's back there and it's part of who you are, but you're also creating something new. And I don't know about you, but I get excited about the new thing. so I had been starting another manuscript, and before I knew it, Running with the Beast had evolved from that. When I started working with a couple of people who were reading the manuscript, Holly Lynn Walrath and Catherine Coppola were my editors. Both of them independently came back and said, I think this is 2 books. And they were kind of pulling the themes out for each, and a little bit similarly. So, in fact, I did pull out this one, and I sent that in. And then I have another one that I'm sending out now that is that second manuscript. So yeah, always sort of writing the new thing. So I did send it to a few new places, and I didn't get it picked up, and I thought, well, maybe I'll see if Finishing Line Press has a portal for people to send their manuscripts in for authors they've published before, and lo and behold, they did. And it's free, so hey. If they've published you before, they'll take a look at what you have. And it took a little bit, but they did accept the manuscript, so they are the publisher as well. And so it's similar in structure. It has poetry and short created nonfiction in it. And so in kind of reflecting back, it might have been a good idea to just do one whole book with both of those, but hey, you know, it's a process, not an event, I guess. So now I have 2, but they kind of talk to each other, I guess, is the point. So if you enjoyed the first book, you would probably enjoy the second book. Anybody have any questions or anything before I dive into our reading? Thoughts or... Yeah, Marsha.
Usually they do only chapbooks. Is this a full length?
This is a chapbook as well. Yeah, so, yeah. And good question, because a full book would be somewhere probably above 40 pages, more in the sort of 60 to 80 pages range. For a poetry book anyway, that's typical. But for a chapbook, it's less than 40. In this case, they ask for less than 36 pages. And so also in the creative nonfiction pieces I have in there, I break them up a little bit into mini chapters so that they, as a reader, you might experience them more as a poem than as a story. So yeah, it doesn't throw you
I
off.
think they used to be only poetry chapbooks, so it's kind of
Yeah.
great news because I
Yeah.
have chapbooks that are short, but I have also that says really I can.
It is good news, and I think, and I know other people that are submitting chapbooks that are flash, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, and those are getting accepted. And hybrid is something that's becoming more popular. So if you've got that, send it in. It's always a matter of finding the right match. And I always find that if I read what they're publishing, that helps me understand if I might even have a chance. You know, because some of them, there's no chance. Like there are some presses that like I'm not writing what they're looking for, and it's okay because that's what we as readers love, right? Is all the variety that we can enjoy out there. So yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read a few things. The first thing I wanted to read was a poem that I wrote. I'm calling it sort of a keystone poem in the collection. It opens the chapbook. And part of, and just so I didn't do this, but I have a little about the book. Let me read that before I dive into this. So the collection, Running with the Beast, explores the survival of women in a world shaped by capitalism, inequality, and the passage of time. Blending poetry and creative nonfiction, the collection journeys through the complexities of contemporary life, illuminating themes of resilience, empowerment, and a reclamation of feminine strength. These pieces speak especially to women seeking transformation and reconnection to their power at every stage of life. So that kind of gives you an idea of the pieces that are in there. So as I read this first one, you'll see it's about the different generations of women in my family, including myself, and our struggle as women to get ahead in this capitalistic sort of, sorry, but patriarchal world.
They can break it to you, but
Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's called Finding Work. My mother's mother fed school students creamed beef and mashed potatoes, while Wall milked cows on the farm. She was 48 when cancer took him. For cash, she rented out the top floor of their house. 6-foot-tall Aunt Betty moved her operatic voice to New York City to sing arias at Carnegie Hall. Her hopes fell into the bottle with no funders for her debut. By 33, she was dead. At 17, my pregnant mother finished high school, married, moved to the Rust Belt. By 25, 4 kids in grade school, she was told it was time for her to go to work. As a latchkey kid and the only girl, Mom called me her little helper. I learned to do women's work, to use my hands to clean, wash, sew, mend, bake, cook. I made my own money, sold Avon in 6th grade, babysat through junior high, flipped McDonald's burgers, learned to type and take shorthand in high school. At 17, I moved out, pursued college, greeted bank visitors, wrote resumes for students, cooked Arby's roast beef, flunked tennis. My quest to be my version of free drove me to the Houston oil boom. Here, I nickel and dimed my budget, delayed going to college. On this wheel, I was spinning, going nowhere. But I kept going and going and going. Now, the next one I want to read was actually published in the public poetry anthology, Unbroken. And they still have a call for, submittals. They have another one that's, Witness is the theme. So if you want to send your work in, this is a great press. It's part of the Houston Public Library. So, always a good thing. Support your library. All right. And this is called Listening to Lou Reed Sing. I Heard Her Call My Name, with Mo Tucker on the drums. And if you don't know Mo Tucker, she was the drummer for, and she was the drummer for the Velvet Underground. So, who was the dead girl he heard calling him out of the Velvet Underground? Standing above the bass drum, upside down on the floor, banging tambourines with mallets, Mo split my listener's mind. Early drums were made of hollowed tree trunks, alligator skin stretched across, struck with hands. In 6th grade, my mom gave my drums to my brother. She said, "You can't play them because you're a girl." That fateful forking over of my drum kit left me striking my wood tips on pots and pans instead of the snare. I am the dead girl now. Music notes as shadows lead me back like a conductor. How could I give up my dream to play in a rock and roll band? It's not impossible to find your rhythm. It's never too late to pick up the sticks. When you're dead, no one can kill you. Don't say you can't live the life of your dreams. Thank you. All right. The next one is was in an anthology from the White Wall Review, which is actually out of Canada. Crystal is from Canada. And the theme is metamorphosis for this one. I think I read this one on the podcast. The women rallied as time slipped away. Everyone was content. But what was happening with their clocks? Did the women believe the canard about clocks shrinking in the spine or shoulder and then expanding in stomachs later? Or how about the one that says, if you have enough clocks vibrating at the same frequency, your bones stay elastic? In the beginning, women believed their pendulums would swing forever. But then they heard their grandmothers and mothers' gears seize one by one. Still, they remained filled with hope. They pushed their clocks away. The clocks held their regrets. The women stood behind muted, cream-colored doors. Now they burned sandalwood and magnolia incense after the collapse of others. Suspended between each sunrise and sunset, they found a sense of meaning. They sought refuge in the silent, moss-covered mountains. They sipped dirty martinis, tattooed their skin, and painted their lips red. Here, clocks lost their man-made electric charge. Eventually, memories began to fade. Clocks melted. Thank you. And I'll read one more, and then we'll have our open mic. I'm just very excited. Okay. This was actually in the Bayou Review in fall of 2024. And I've made this sort of a tradition to submit to the Bayou Review, which is University of Houston Downtown Press, every fall, because I've been in there for 3 years in a row. We'll see if I can get in this year. But I love a student-run press, and I think it's always a good thing. They also take art, so, you know, it's a good press to submit to. And this is a short story, so since I have some stories in the book, I wanted to read one of those for you. And it's broken up by headlines, essentially, and a dated headline or dateline in each section. For immediate release, Houston, Texas, March 19th, 2008. Sorry, Kathi, but it's no longer necessary for you to serve as Vice President of Human Resources for our company. You can throw away your catbird, evil Director of HR. stress balls. Effective immediately, you will no longer be having Friday morning tacos with your team, nor will you be responsible for ensuring legal compliance and effective HR operations. No more need to collaborate with the executives. It's time to turn over your company ID, office keys, and computer. No, we don't need your resignation letter or a 2-week notice. Let's just agree to disagree. You can pack up your 47-year-old bottle blonde hair and blue suits today. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Newsflash, a woman is sold on the American education market. Kent, Ohio, January 1st, 1987. One day in the early 1980s, a coworker at the bank in my Ohio hometown brought in a newspaper from Houston, Texas. Page after page was filled with opportunities for people with administrative skills, as I had. Houston, it turned out, would be my promised land, where jobs were aplenty with the oil boom. I worked hourly administrative roles for large companies for many years. I thought being seen and not heard only extended to children in those days. Soon I learned it also applied to women. In 1985, I decided to return to college, believing a degree would help me advance my career. I spent 2 years in community college in Dallas, then returned to Ohio to finish an undergraduate degree. When I returned, I did so believing my mom's university employee benefits would continue. That is, tuition would be fully paid. As luck would have it, the university changed that policy my first year back, barring any child over the age of 25 from receiving tuition. It was my goal to have a college degree in my back pocket, even if I had to empty those pockets first of all of my cash and a bit of creative financing. A day in the life, corporate leader, Houston, Texas, March 14, 2008. Most days, my husband and I would stop at Starbucks along Shepherd Drive and chat with our barista, Robin, before getting on the highway and heading to our jobs. Walking into my office, I had a pit in my stomach. My team wasn't there. The CEO had called them into the conference room. I was not invited. She was concerned about a candidate being rejected because of a failed criminal background check and wanted to change the protocol in a way that was not in line with our legal counsel. She wanted to do it her way, having reached a level of incompetence akin to the Peter Principle. She had the authority to put the company and me in a liable position should something go wrong. This wasn't the first time her actions made me feel uncomfortable, but it would be the last. Hot tips: how to make a career transition. Houston, Texas, September 1st, 2007. It turns out I fired myself from that job. I wanted to redirect my path. I wanted to work with people who shared my ethics and fulfilled my desire to positively impact others. But I was afraid to give up my idea of myself, my idea of success, the perceived power of my VP-ness, the alluring trap of corporate life, and the salary. Before I made the break, I put my emotional support team together. First, I hired a coach who had me create a list of at least 25 in each category of what I wanted to be, do, have in the next 5 years. I answered questions like, what could you keep from accomplishing your goals? What could keep you from accomplishing your goals? Who can help you? Who can stop you? What are you willing or unwilling to do to reach your goals? If you don't make it, what will your most likely excuse be? To get through my day job, my coach said, be amused, be Maxwell smart, be a double agent, don't quit. Build a cushion of cash while you figure out what you want next. Do what makes you happy, my husband said. We'll figure out the rest. Look to the future, my therapist said, not the past. Go for your life. Breaking news, Eagle launches new company, Houston, Texas, April 1st, 2008. Did you know eagles look for and fly into storms? As storms approach, lesser birds head for cover, but the eagle spreads its wings and with a great cry, soars upon the powerful updrafts to heights of glory. Eagles use storms to lift them to great heights. Many of you know Kathi is an avid cyclist. Her bike often acts as her wings. And you know she is fearless in the pursuit of her business and professional goals. And just like an eagle seeks out opportunities to soar, so will she. Scoop. Entourage spotted at Houston's hottest spa. Houston, Texas, September 1st, 2008. Sitting in the salon chair as I waited for my hair to change back to its natural color. A medium brown with caramel streaming through. I talked with my stylist about the ins and outs of owning a business. He was prepping my hair for a photo shoot with my image artist. She called my new look tailored and approachable. Now I was ready to shed the evil director of HR vibe. So it's been a journey.
And now you're retired.
And now I'm retired. Yay. All right. So do you guys have what you need to drink and eat? We have plenty. We are going to go into the open mic. All right.
It's your debut.
And I will open it up at the end if anybody else is motivated. All right. So our first open mic person is Denise Bozart. And I'm excited. Let's go.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Kathi. It's always a pleasure to hear anything that Kathi reads. Can you hear me now? Yes. It's always a pleasure to come to something that Kathi is reading, whether it's her own books or some open mic, because she is just so fabulously funny and entertaining and delightful. So thank you so much and congratulations, Kathi. So I'm going to read a poem that came to mind immediately based on the title of her book. And it's something that my writing group, which includes Kathi and Leslie and who else is here? Celeste and Kelly, all those ladies have helped improve this poem from its original piece. So without further ado, Desert Dreams. And I put my glasses here for a reason. So, Desert Dreams. I dream of losing myself in the desert, those wide sweeps of land racing to the mirage of the horizon, become one with the sand grinding into my feet, the grit caught in my teeth. I'll let the dry air steal my tears, whisk away the sweat pebbling my body, turn my saliva to salt on my lips. I'll let the sun crisp my skin until it fractures open by Chaco Canyon, irradiate my exposed bones, their stark whiteness ground to dust by relentless cycles of heat and freeze. I'll let the wind whirl my particles, skipping across the cracked ground, threading through the limbs of the sequoias, sliding past their spiky embrace. I'll float in the light beams, surveying a box canyon. I'll settle there and wait for Coyote. He'll give me his paw prints, and I'll dust his fur. Then we'll go hunting, our lonesome yips echoing through the dark night.
Very good. And Denise, that's the one you just sent out, right?
Yes.
We're all hoping it gets accepted by this magazine that she sent it to. Okay. Our next open mic person is Crystal Smith. And I know Crystal through a poetry class I took earlier this year with Joshua Burton. And then now she's teaching a class at Imprint that I'm taking. So,
Hi, it's me who dropped the cup. I'm so glad that I met Kathi, and because I just moved to Houston, so it's great to connect to Kathi and her kindness in the literary community. And two things to understand this poem. One, Balzac is a little town in Alberta.
can you hear me now?
Yes. And two, we have a type of potato chip in Canada called all-dressed chips, which is all the flavors of all the chips on one chip. It's amazing. Thank you. A prairie girl dreams a slice of pizza from Federici's downtown, olive oil, garlic knots in a brown paper bag. Connor's got new vans and wants to grind rails near the wintry Atlantic. But in Freehold, New Jersey, deli counters spill pickle juice, sesame, everything, poppy seed mesh trails to CVS, briny brick sidewalks disappear under lore. Molly Pitcher Hayes loaded her husband's gun. This is revolution, where battlemen fell at Monmouth, where water drowned each cannon blast on hills now covered in pink plastic sleds, crazy carpets and black inner tubes down slopes. These green Doc Martens can hold out snow, stomp a pit, slam dance a traffic light from yellow to red. Tarmac causes borough wars and warm cars drip oil in brackish mouth salts. This stone fire oven bakes sickly conversations. One trick girl, red cheeks, red gums, dots on back seats. The Holland Tunnel to New York City or a train to Philly. You parrot explosions, mimic guffaws down creaky halls. You flush every secret from each gland. Lymph node or lodestar, you pick the difference. Locations you keep muffled in a rag on your blue collared shirt. Hey, my name is Connor. Squiggle lines white at the gas station pump, glossy wheels on a Sector 9, trace cement cracks along the shore, mermaid fountains, patina in snow, in rain, in Rita's famous Italian ices. Gelato slides from mustachioed lips, fossicking in cold sand for needles, for shells, for wool blankets that keep warm. Atlantic Ocean meets folding night. You're no working girl, verklempt on the ferry. Swapping white tennis shoes for a pair of high heels. That's some Staten Island shit. The mill's abandoned, the boys are all gone. Sing in reverse ball bearings. This is a battle cadence. A prairie girl winks in a silo near Balzac. Highway lines to all dress chips. Thank you, Kathi.
Thanks, Crystal, that was amazing. And if you don't, you need to follow Crystal on Instagram. Is it Crystal?
Crystal Smith, but my name's spelled funny.
Cristale, but I can tell you if you go to learn later. Because she does these really cool reviews of books and other things. So, anyway. Maria Merrill. Maria and I met in yoga because she had a yoga studio back in the day. And I learned that she was right down the street from me. So, yeah, we've been friends since then.
Hi everyone. Is this close enough? Can you hear me? Okay.
There's a closer said that I can. Has to be pretty close. Okay. And then.
Is this good?
Yes.
Okay. This is the second time that I'm reading a poem with a microphone in front of a group. So thank you for supporting me. This is called Ode to 290 between Hempstead and Austin. I want to fill up my jumbo cup with a cherry-flavored ice-cold slushie. I want to slide a beef jerky onto the counter at Buc-ee's. I want to strut to the gas pump in my cowgirl boots with ponytail high and wink at the Wrangler in his Ram truck as I fill up. Pretend I'm 29, not 59. I want to press my barefoot pedal to the metal of an ex's Camaro, windows down as my Daisy Dukes stick to the vinyl seat, bare legs sweating and paying no mind to the tendrils of hair slapping my face as I chew gum and smack my lips loudly. I want to drive west with the sun behind me, defy physics in early twilight. I want to stop at Truth and have some barbecue, but I never do. I'm in a hurry to stay ahead. Minutes views and the artificial hills of the overpass melt into 2-lane blacktops. I want to be the yellow butterfly I glimpse, weedy sunflowers planted by no one. Instead, I freeze my brain on that red slushie, slurping up what's already gone.
Thanks, Maria. All right, Margot.
Yes.
Yeah, here.
An all-night conversation with you. If I could turn back time. An all-night conversation with you is better than an afternoon chat with anyone else right now. Maybe because we love absorbing esoteric movies and dissecting them ad nauseum for days. Maybe because we love attending theaters and pretending to be theater critics. Maybe because I love to have parties and you loved being a guest in our home. Maybe because we traveled so much and now the world reminds me of you. I would rather see you than London, Paris, Kashmir, Machu Picchu, or Disneyland on either coast. I imagine us a couple of old pillows hanging out on the sofa, stuffing our faces with popcorn and wine. If we invited your wife, could you get a hall pass for one more movie, one more conversation? I have so much to tell you.
Thank you, Margot. That was fabulous. Okay, next, Milton. Where's Milton? Oh, come on, Milton. Milton Parraga. You did an art show, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Kathi, congratulations on your second book. We're so excited for you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Milton Parraga. Today I'll be reading an excerpt from a short story titled Pink Giraffe. To set the scene, this story is about two characters, Santiago, Santi for short, and Robin, and they're traveling to Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. Okay. The first time Robin heard the person she loved detach himself from their shared reality, Santi floated away in the sonic flare of a language she heard so many times but still seemed undecipherable, impenetrable, impossible even. For Robin, the fluidity in which Santi moved in this strange rhythm was not only exciting but endearing to witness. He sounded different, lighter, as if this version of him had lived an entirely different life. There came a time when Robin realized there was an entirely different being within Santi, one that she didn't know, one whose lips she would never truly understand. The window of the tiny car that picked them up served as a screen projecting a plotless film, like stock footage of a beautiful ancient city, hundreds of years into an uncertain future. As a rich tapestry of colonial architecture unfolded before Robin, she identified single words that were being said between their driver and Santi. Tranquilo, frio, esposa. Calm, cold wife. This she understood. Robin wondered if she was the subject of conversation. Fading into the background was becoming more exhausting each year. Rummaging through her bag, Robin looked for her sunglasses, while Santi sat in the co-pilot seat, filling the car steadily with the pitter-patter of the Spanish language, flooding it with words that sounded like creatures she'd never seen before. Who was this man behind the wheel? This man who could stir a side of Santi that was lying dormant, waiting to be awakened. With regret and a small pang of anger, Robin came to the sobering conclusion that she'd forgotten her sunglasses on the bathroom counter of the hotel room. She closed her eyes, thinking about her favorite dog park back home. The electric flush of tenderness she felt each time Sammy ran towards her with a ball between his little canine jaws. "Good boy, Sammy," she said. to herself, hoping to fall asleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if those of you who don't know, Archway Gallery has a reading, open mic, every third Thursday. And Margot is the person who sends the email out, so make sure she has your email if you'd like to be added. Great. And I'm always impressed the way that Milton has handwritten stories and poems. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Catherine McDaniel.
She could read twice for me.
This is a bit of an experiment today. I had a career as a musician for 20 years and recently been moving into art and words. And last year I had a friend call and say, hey, can you be part of this residency that we're doing at U of H? And we got funded. So it's really a big deal. But it's language as music and music as language. And what this piece is, this is a reworking of a piece I wrote called Cloud, which I wrote 15 years ago. But what this does is it explores it with sound effects. So it expands it into a realm of musicality. There was a singer called Kathi, and she was Armenian. She was a wonderful mezzo-soprano. She sang opera all over the place. But then she also composed. And she made a piece of music called Strip City, which is pretty famous. And I'm gonna get to read this. I'm gonna get to perform this at U of H in the fall. And this is dedicated to Kathi because it has a little of that spirit. Kathi added, she called it a Foley piece. So it was as if you were a radio announcer and you were using sound effects. This has a little of that in it. So we call it Cloud, a poem music of breath, dedicated to Kathi Baburgan. I let it fly, a wispy puff, scarcely enough to care about, yet dear as breath itself. A lump in my throat hardens as it floats away from me, who feels every emotion that it cannot. Barely being, it flutters. I am distressed to see it soft and insubstantial, meander and lose its way among coquettish winds, already dissipating in the bright sun. I am thinking it wasn't much of a thought, a fragment of a feeling, too long bottled, poorly formed. Expecting to see it vanish, and half wishing for its fragile death, I savor the fruit of failure. But it hovers over you, darkening and swelling, suddenly billowing into space, growing heavy and expectant, meeting a reflection in your eye. It finds at once an open field. Then the miracle. It rains.
That was incredible. Catherine is the editor for Synchronicity, and they have an open call right now for, what's it
It's
name?
opening on August 1st.
August 1st. What's the theme?
The theme is for the technology.
Technology, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds great. And she also takes art as well as poetry and fiction,
Just about
nonfiction.
anything on the theme, yeah.
Yeah, anything on the theme, that's right. All right, Celeste, you're up.
Hello, and I'm seeing Maria for the first time in person. We're in Kate's classes. This also is this is a draft that I have not, hello, Leslie. This is a draft I have not read in public before, so. I'm not trying to be special. How a robin isn't trying to be an astronaut. A teetotaler isn't trying to be St. Augustine. Neither is trying to be the magnolia tree that lived in the front yard, its white flowers not a cocoon to hide in, nor a wishing well with no wishes left. The magnolia tree isn't trying to be a phone, despite having died long ago. A dead phone isn't trying to be a mask. Ibuprofen isn't trying to be a bed. Clean sheets, warm blankets in a cool room. A dream isn't trying to be a laugh. A laugh isn't trying to be a match, which isn't trying to be the forest it came from. My directives aren't trying to be angels. My christening gown, which my mother saved in a dresser drawer, isn't today a portal.
All right, now we have Gracie. That's good.
Please ignore the fact that I'm in shorts. I was not prepared to read. I was not going to mention this as well, but I do work for public poetry, and our second year of the anthology is called Witness. It is free. I can give you some information about that if you're interested. But this poem is called The Final Day You Loved Me. You would not look at me. I told you to pose against the wooden railing, the sun against your back, the sea behind mine. Your eyes were drawn beyond to some shimmering thing. We met in a time when people didn't know words like COVID or Melania, and we found ourselves telling a story through red envelopes during Chinese New Year. I told you this was never my culture, and you said you'd teach me. So I took you to all the places I was too afraid to go alone, clay potting and bingo, hauling you around, claiming it was doing life together, but it was parallel play in its gasping loneliness. We added more because some Instagram dietitian said, if you want to change, be additive, not subtractive. So we applied this to every crevice of our lives except mealtimes. We picked up pickleball and young adult gatherings. We wine tasted and cherry picked. And when that wasn't enough, we took and took until I was practicing celibacy for Lent. Even then, the realization never hit me that you really weren't that funny. I never even took a picture that day. I stared beyond into the sun in its brilliant orange. The world was so beautiful on the final day you loved me.
That was awesome. All right, now we've got Abby. Woo!
I think we met,
Your book came out.
it wasn't the book, it was the
Book reading.
the book reading for
Right Space.
Right Space, and then we
Right
did
Space
the
reading.
report, for the anthology for
For the
Bayou Review.
Bayou Review. Oh, that's, yeah, we were both in the same Bayou Review. See, you meet great people by being in that lit mag too.
Yeah, and then she introduced me to WeFly. So yes, that's a great organization, female writer, if that inspires a female, please. My poem is titled Black-Eyed Susan. staring into the dark pools of my pupils, from the very tiny little pus. I could see why people said it reminded them of the black-eyed Susan, particularly with its prominent brown center. But I had far more in common with this wildflower than anyone could fathom. Headstrong, I know. I find strength in my core to keep thriving in places where I wasn't even invited. I bring my own table when no one has laid one for me. I make space for myself with my flamboyant colors. I come into rooms where I have to prove twice as much as my competing oppressors, dressed in grasshopper green. They spew corporate jargon, eager to suffocate and disrupt my presence. But I'm hard to miss. I stand my ground. I flash my sunny yellow petals to anyone who is willing to capture attention. I sought shelter with unlikely foes who tried to identify and place a label on me, calling me a sunflower. But I'm no sunflower. I stand on the road, I flash bright yellow petals for shelter, for food, perhaps even for a loving hand to tend my bruised petals. But then it occurred to me that people are eager and quick to throw my seeds away, throw it off to the ground, never caring if I ever survive. But that don't bother me. I don't care if predators come to devour me, or even if the wind blows the life from me. I'm resilient like that. I adapt just like a chameleon in diverse conditions. I embrace the wild ride called life. Actually, that's just a spark. It gives me life. It opens my mind. I'm free. I'm wild, just as nature's intended, to grow, to bloom, wherever I find myself. Thank you.
That was fabulous, thank you. All right, Britt. And Britt and I finally met in real life, as they say. IRL. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you again, Kathi, and thank you for this reading. It was so wonderful hearing your work, and I'm so excited to get to know you more. I will be reading a poem called If I Were a Scientist. This is was just recently accepted to Heavy Feather Review for publication, yay, from my chapbook that I am currently marketing out, so fingers crossed. Would have made foaming volcanoes instead of trifold book blurbs at 6th grade state-mandated science fairs. I would propose hypotheses on how much anxiety affects comorbidity with eating disorders. The same way I feel when chewing thin split nails could be the same way I crave seaweed-stained fingers in between my teeth. Holding back coughs, searching for some kind of purpose, greater purpose, behind all these lies we tell ourselves, skin and bone, the difference between fat and free, leaning on this warped understanding of healthy habits, leaning on education as understanding, leaning gently into cross-faded jeans in fitting rooms, the inevitable tearing of fabrics and strings as his body attempts to mold around a forsaken size, one which does not consistently consist in other thighs, defining a number by size as if there's a true thing as fits all. Thank you.
And we have Kelly. All right, Kelly. Kelly also has a lit mag she's going to talk about, right? You're going to tell them about that too. Okay.
Aren't you going to say how we met?
At the Pirate Poets in Galveston through Margot, who invited me. Yeah, I know, right? Who who invited me to come. So I met Kelly and a bunch of other really great writers at that retreat, because on my target list that year was to find a retreat, and I found you.
Yes, you did. Okay, so Kathi said I could give out these postcards that I ran out to get, so I wasn't here for announcements. But the journal Equinox has a call for submissions now until August 16th, and I have these handy dandy cards with QR codes, and if you want one, take it. And they might end up at that empty chair there. We take poetry and art, and anyway, there's a prize for $100 in each category. This is our 5th anniversary, and we've already given away about $3,000, which is why we're so broke. Which is why we need submissions to give those prizes away again. So last time I read, and I have phone issues, I'm sorry. But I couldn't even get my reading out, so this time I was trying to do better. And I have one poem, and I write a lot about body issues too. So this one is called, and I don't think I've ever read this one aloud before. It's called Ode to a Varicose Vein. And I had that praise song for Strong Foundations. It was published in the last anthology. So this is kind of in the same vein, pun intended. Ode to a Varicose Vein. My, but you have grown. I still see you, a little blue blush on my left calf. You always said you were going places. Who knew how far you'd go? First, you traveled to the back of my knee, the place my lover once liked to kiss. Then you spidered up my thigh, leapt across to the other side like some hero in an action flick. I used to follow your blue highway with my ring finger, wonder where you would surface next, ever the rebel on the lam. I worried like a motherfucker, where you would wander. I tried to impress you. You went underground for good. I hoped, but you resurfaced. Big blotches modeled my ankles like fireworks. A splatter of 4th of July sky. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, say, can you help but see? I saw red. I sang the blues. People began to look away politely, peek discreetly. You, who assumed the shape of an alien invader, snaking its way to my brain in your sluggish journey, make my blood pressure soar. You bulge at my temple. I have turned into my mother, whose legs never saw daylight. I even talk like her. I am fit to burst. Can it get any worse? Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's also become my swim partner. We meet up at the gym, which is great. Does anybody else want to read? I want to thank everybody for sharing their work. This was amazing. And we'll do it again. I was thinking, even if I don't have a book next year, we'll still get together. How about it? Let's do it. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. This means so much to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.